Welcome, here I've got Huawei P Smart 2021 and I'm gonna show you the top tricks of its camera. So at first we have to tap on the camera button to open it, and for now we are in the standard photo mode. Let's see what we've got here. Let me start by tapping anywhere at the screen, like that. As you can see, we have this kind of square. This is the focusing square, so we can pick the area of our focus, and this is connected with this small sun icon from the right. As you can see, by tapping on this sun a little bit longer, we get access to the slider, and here we can control the exposure compensation. So by going up, we can manage the light of our picture and make our photo more bright. By going down, we can make it more dark. And of course, when we tap anywhere, we go back to the auto settings with that. Now let's have a look at this button here. By just one tap, we can get access to the slider connected with zoom. We can open here the wide spectrum, wide lens. As you can see, it changes. And then we can get closer, so we can use zoom, like that. We can also do it by using two fingers, but I think the slider is more precise here. Now let's stay on the one lens, so the standard one, and let's have a look at these buttons here, the settings bar. By going to the left or right, here we can change the modes of this camera. We have aperture mode, and the short information appears when we get access to it first time. We get also the night mode, then portrait, photo, video, and by going to the right to more, we get access to the other ones like Pro, Slow Motion, Panoramic, Light Painting, HDR, Time-Lapse, Moving Picture, Stickers, Super Macro, and High Resolution. So this is a lot. I don't have much time to speak about all of these modes now. I suggest you to make experiments with that and just have a good fun. You can also tap to the right corner button with I letter to read short information about all of these modes, so you can learn from this. Now let me show you one of my favorite, the Moving Picture. By just one tap, we get access to it, and here in this mode, when we take a photo, we can get two in one, the picture and the short clip. Let me show you how it works by taking a picture. Let me give some space to my camera. And of course we can take photo by tapping on the center on this button with shutter. Let's go back to this view. To see the picture, let's move to the left to this button. By tapping on it, we get quick access to the gallery, and this is how it looks like. To play the short clip, we have to tap now to this button, the second from the right. And this is how it looks like also. Let's tap here again. And now let's go back to the camera. To go back from the moving picture mode to the standard or the other ones, we have to just tap here on this X letter, and we are automatically in the photo. And here, now let's have a look at this settings bar. Let me start with this button. By just one tap here, we can turn on Auto Intelligent feature. So here we have some help from the device that recognize the scene we have. Now it recognizes that I have the text. So it's true, because at the background I have some text. And it should help us to get the best possible settings to our scene. And now let's move to the center. Here we can manage the flash. Now it's turned off. From the left we can turn it now on the auto, so the camera should recognize when it's needed, when it's too dark. Another tap here and we can turn on flash every time we take a picture. And also when we tap here once again, we can go to the right to get access to the torch, the fill light. And now let's turn it off again, and let's move to this button. When we tap on it, we get access to the filters, and we can make our photos just more beautiful before we take it. As you can see, by using the slider, we can pick whatever we like here. Now let's stay on the known. Let's turn this off by another tap, and let's tap here to the right corner. By just one tap, we can open now the advanced camera settings. This is a lot, as you can see. Let me show you a few of them. Let's start with photo settings. At the first place, we have aspect ratio option. So when we tap here, we can change it from 4:3, the recommended one, which is now, to 1:1. So let me show you the difference. Let's go back to the camera preview. And now the background has changed to the square one. Another tap here to the aspect ratio, and we can go to the full screen. And in the camera preview we can see that now we have full camera frame. And of course when we tap here once again and to the aspect ratio, we can go back to 4 and 3, the recommended one. So to remind you, this is how it looks like. Another tap to the right corner, and let's move to the audio control. When we tap here, we can get access to this button and we can turn on the voice control and turn it off as we need. And when we have this, we can take a picture without touching the screen by saying some keywords like say cheese to take photos or speak loudly to take photos. Let me try to show you how it works by staying on speak loudly to take photos. And when we go back to the camera now, and when I try to speak loudly, I should take a picture. So let me say, for example, take a photo. And as you can see, we have to be pretty loud. So once again, take a photo. Maybe let me get closer to it. Oh, and now it takes a picture because it hears me. So as you can see, it's not perfect. Let me turn this off. But I think this is sometimes useful when it works. And now let's move to Capture Smiles option. By just one tap here, we can turn it on and turn it off. And this option, as you can see, we have short information, automatically take photos when people are smiling. So this is really cool thing also when you want to take the portrait of someone that is smiling. And now let's slide a little bit down to the general settings category. At the first place we have assistive grid option, so by using this button we can turn on the camera grid lines or turn them off as we need. Now let me keep them turned on. Let's go back to the camera, and in the preview we can see these lines. This is useful, for example, when we want to use the rule of thirds in photography or making experiments with composition. Also remember that these lines are not visible at the real picture. So when I take a photo and when I go again here to the left to the gallery, we can't see them. So they are only to help us taking better photos. And of course, by tapping on the right corner and sliding again to the general, we can turn them off when we don't need them. And for now, the grid lines have gone here in the preview. Now let's tap to the right corner once again. Let's stay on the general settings. At the second place here we have horizontal level, another feature that can help us taking better photos. By just one tap, of course, here at the right corner, at the right button, we can turn it on and off. And now we get access to some kind of camera leveler. Here we have this line. And this is useful when we want to, for example, keep our photographic topic straight at the picture. Now let's go back here, let's turn off the leveler and move to the camera timer. Here where we can adjust the delay of taking picture. We can pick 2, 5 or 10 seconds of delay. So let me pick 2 seconds to show you how it works. And let's go back to the camera. Now when we take a photo, we get the countdown and the picture was taken with 2 seconds of delay. Let's go back here. Let's stay on the general, let's turn off the camera timer and move to the add watermark option. By tapping on this button, of course, we can turn on the camera watermark and turn it off. Let me keep this turned on and let's go back to the camera to take a picture to see the watermark at the real one. So let's move now again to the gallery. And now in the left corner at the bottom, at the picture we have the watermark, so let's get closer to it. Huawei P Smart 2021 48 megapixel quad camera. So this is how it looks like. And let's move back to the right corner settings. Let's slide to the general. We can of course turn off the watermark when we don't need it. The next one option here I want to show you is the location tag feature. So by using this button, of course, we can turn it on and off, and this should save the location in the details of our picture and the location tags. So of course I have to say here also one extra thing, that if you want to use this correctly and save the actual location of your photo, you have to be connected with the internet, for example with the Wi-Fi or the mobile data, and you have to turn on the location. So remember about these two parameters to make it work. And now let me keep turning on all of these settings. Let's go back to the camera, take another picture. Again, let's move to the left to the gallery. And here we can't check actual location. We should have here some short information like that about the place. But when we tap to this button in the gallery, the second from the right now, we get access to today's photos, and we should check here the location. So we have the location albums. We can tap here, allow all the time, and I guess that it shows us here that I'm taking pictures in Poland, in Krakow. So it don't work perfectly. Maybe let me change this to albums. Maybe let me tap here. Here you can check also the details of your photo. So as you can see, the location is not perfect here. But let's go back to the camera. Let's move back to the right corner and slide down. Here we have also the mute option. By using this button we can turn it on and turn it off. So when we have this turned on, we can't hear the sounds of taking photo, and by turning it off we can hear them again. And let me show you also one extra thing here. Let's go back to the camera. Now let's change this button here. So we changed the back camera to the front one. So hi again. Let's go back to the right corner settings, and now we have unlocked this button with gesture control. So also we can turn it on and off. I think this is really useful thing, because now when we show palm to the camera, it takes a picture with 2 seconds of delay. Another tap here, and we can also move to the mirror reflection. This option is also available only in the front camera, so we can turn on and off the camera mirror effect here. And after managing all of these settings, sometimes we want to go back to the auto settings and start using this from the beginning. We can do it by tapping on the restore defaults option. So we have to agree to this, and now all of this goes back to the auto and we can start using this from the beginning. And that's all. Thanks for watching, subscribe our channel and leave the thumbs up.